Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I needed something to lighten the mood because it's fair to say that the gacha space has kind of gotten this down lately. And we got the God of Gacha himself fully equipped with the best facial hair in the space, ready to do that for us today. And we all know from some of the past videos that we've all seen about Touhou, some of the past reacts that we've had, bro explicitly always seems to call me out at the most random times for the most random reasons. And, you know, just from like that last video that he did regarding Ryuku and his take on splash arts, I ended up getting mentioned 4 times. And I'm gonna be real, that was one of the funniest fucking videos I've ever seen. And so with that, I want to see what's gonna take place on Delusional Gacha Takes episode 4, sensationalizing the big 4. And I do believe Wuthering Waves is going to be included in that number. And so I imagine that my name is magically gonna be brought up again. So with that, let's go ahead, let's see what it's all about here and give our take on the matter. Take it away, God of Gacha.
So dudes, welcome back to another episode of Delusional Gacha Takes, but unlike the first couple, this one's going to be more chill. In case y'all forgot, in the pilot episode of the series, I did mention that on occasion, I'll make more relaxed videos like this one, where I'm not necessarily talking about like drama or anything on the heavier side like that. And no,
he's still probably gonna say like he fucking hates me though. If this is his definition of chill, it already feels like he's not that chill.
before you ask, it's not cause of the rats. Why do you think a god like me needs to be scared of some pieces of trash on the internet after?
Didn't he just say he was gonna be chill? He just said he was going to be chill, and he's already not chill. He broke his promise about 10 seconds after he said he was gonna be chill. Come on, man.
After all, but it's because what I want to talk about in today's video doesn't warrant the same level of aggression that I put into the last couple.
I also heard Tecto made a video absolutely dismantling this guy's soul. So we might watch that after this one.
If you're new to the channel and you're not sure why I just called myself a god, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Touhou and I'm the god of gacha games. I've been playing gacha games for the last 8 years and currently I'm playing and keeping up with 13 of them, with more to come in the future as they come out. And
wait, so is 13 the magical number to become a god at something? I've eaten 13 different types of pizza. Does that make me the god of pizza? I've talked to 13 different women. Oh, I can't relate.
because there are some individuals out there with more than 46 chromosomes who heard me call myself that and got triggered off the face of the planet, which, by the way, is hilarious seeing them crash out like that. I'd like to clarify that I don't call myself the god of gacha just because I play a whole bunch of gacha games, or just because I spent
a lot of people call him the god of unemployment. So does that mean he was fired from 13 different jobs? Maybe 13 is the magical number.
a whole lot of money on them. I call myself the gacha god because I know gacha. I know what they truly are, I know how they work, how you're supposed to play them, what to look for to know if a gacha is like a good one, and most importantly, how to improve them. Or in other words, contrary to popular belief, it's not just because I have an ego about it, but it's also because I have both the experience and the commitment to gacha games to call myself such, which many people out there who recently came across my videos in the last couple of weeks seem to lack the mental capacity to comprehend.
He said he was gonna be chill.
Sorry, did I say I wasn't going to be as aggressive in this video? I lied.
This guy is so funny. I don't even think he recognizes that he's not trying to be funny, but he's so funny. Bro, he's just cinema. Whenever he's mad, he's literally cinema. Which is like, I don't think it's good to necessarily like monetize your mental health like this, but it's legitimately so fucking funny, bro.
Need to comprehend. Sorry, did I say I wasn't going to be as aggressive in this video? I lied. I'll keep it to those certain individuals, though. But enough trash
All right,
talk
we're
for
definitely
now.
getting called
In this
out for
video, I
sure.
want to talk about the tendency of big gacha players, people who mainly play or only play any number of what I like to call the big four gachas, Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, Zenless Zone Zero, and Wuthering Waves, to create content that suggests that the game they're talking about is like the best or the greatest at something. And the examples of such that I'll bring up throughout my video here are the following. These two videos by Honkai Chaser that say Zenless Zone Zero is the hardest gacha game out there, and these videos saying Wuwa's 2.0 patch is the best patch in all of gacha gaming.
Okay.
There are, of course, a lot more examples out there of what I'm talking about, but these were the ones that I just happened to come across.
Okay, so I guess maybe we're saved, boys. Maybe we're in the clear. It looks like we might not be getting attacked today. Hey, I'll turn off my defensive skills.
I'll give you the bottom line here first, and then go into the examples listed above. I'm not a fan of people saying that whatever gacha they play is the best at any one particular thing in the entire spectrum of gacha games. For example, saying that your gacha is the hardest gacha to play, or that one patch in your gacha is like the best patch out of any gacha game out there. And I got two reasons as to why. First is simply because many, if not most, of the people who make videos or tweets like this, they don't have to be just videos, they can be tweets too, don't play many other gacha games that aren't the big four.
Yeah, I don't play the other games because they suck. Think about that, bucko. Maybe I just don't play games because they're not good. Who's playing Girls Frontline 1 nowadays? I'll just play 2. Who's playing Arknights nowadays? I'll just go play Enfield.
Right? Checking the channels of the people who made the first couple of videos that I'm using as examples here, Honkai Chaser appears to upload mainly Hoyo content, such as Honkai Impact and more recently Zenless Zone Zero. Ethan seems like he mainly puts up Wuwa content nowadays, though if I search his video history, he did start out on Genshin at least. And Sykamen Ramen's been doing more gaming news lately, but he's done plenty of gacha content before.
Damn, bro fucking audited the shit out of their channels. He's a bit of a prodigy over here.
But outside of a few exceptions like Sykamen doing videos on GFL2,
God of Private Investigation,
and Reverse 1999 a while back, it seems like none of these guys play much else in terms of gacha. Technically, Honkai Chaser has played quite a bit of Honkai Impact, and Honkai Impact definitely isn't one of the big four, so he's the main exception here, but true to his name, his content consists of entirely Hoyoverse games, so I don't know if he's played any other gacha or not. It
Okay, he does have a Wuwa vid.
is possible that they do play others besides the ones that they make content for. It could just be that they just don't make content on them, or maybe they only stream them instead of making dedicated YouTube videos for them if they do stream.
He should have audited their Twitch VODs as well, just like how Fob audited mine. Yeah, I remember back in the day when Fob was trying to start some beef with me. Yeah, Fob was like auditing my Twitch VODs to see that I was actually playing Wuthering Waves. That was a fun time. Yeah, that was a little bit weird. Gonna be real here.
I myself play 13 different gacha games, but I don't like make regular content on all of them, clearly. But for like 8 or 9 of them, I do have these whales logs or...
Yeah, that was the Chang Li incident. the Jinsei and Chang Li incident. Maybe Fob was just having a bad day when that was all going on. Why is there a red laser coming through your window? Relax, bucko.
I myself play 13 different gacha games, but I don't like make regular content on all of them, clearly. But for like 8 or 9 of them, I do have these whales logs or dolphins logs videos that I make at the end or the beginning of every month. What this bald retard doesn't
Nice.
get is that these videos were never meant to get a whole ton of views or anything like that. I make them because I think it's kind of cool to document the progress on some of my gachas and see how much they've changed or improved over the months and years, and they're there if anyone wants to follow along. Tectone called himself a fan of my content or some bull like that, or at least he used to be, so he should have known that, considering my very first whales log that I did for my FGO account is older than his entire YouTube channel. He even had hair back then too, but all the React Andy slop content he does nowadays made all his hair fall out, I guess. Or maybe he was just a fan of my videos when I only talked about stuff that fit his agenda. Huh, funny how that works. Anyways, the Timu Asman
Getting personal, bro.
gold tangent aside, these whales logs and dolphins logs I do every month now serve as my proof that I do in fact keep up with all 13 of my gachas. For the ones that I don't make these log videos for, you can just hit up my stream either right here on my YouTube channel or over on Twitch at twitch.tv/touhusniper98.
But Tohu, I did take a look at one of your streams before, and this is what happened. He has some really high quality logs on YouTube. And there's one in particular that I really want to talk about because the gameplay here is absolutely nuts. So let's just see this stream over here by touhusniper, guys. Check this out. Notice how he's here. Bro literally doesn't move. He doesn't move for 2 hours. Nothing on his screen. Nothing for 2 hours, bro. All we see is the idle animations of the characters, and then the TV in the background starts moving. That's it. What do you mean, bro? I think he moved. Did he? Oh, he did. Right here. You guys see that? Never mind. I stand corrected. She slightly changed the camera angle. Boom. All right. I'm wrong. Never mind. No, that's crazy gameplay. My bad.
And ask me how my progress has been in them, and I'll gladly show you. I say all of this to point out that a lot of these guys who say stuff like Zenless or Wuwa for that matter is the hardest gacha game out there, or Wuwa has the best patch ever, haven't or have barely played other gacha games. So without trying to sound too dramatic when I say this, what kind of authority do they think they have when they say stuff like that? How do you know that, for instance, Zenless is in fact the hardest gacha game out there? I know that there are plenty of Wuwa players and content creators alike who will gladly disagree, and
you know who Tohu kind of reminds me of right now? He kind of actually reminds me of Ryuku a little bit. Because one thing that Ryuku always got really mad at me about was me using titles like the best exploration in gacha gaming. And Ryuku would always say, wait, I've actually got like proof of it. Ryuku would always say, how do you feel justified in like saying that when you've only played like 4 gacha games? And I've actually got the receipts. I've got the proof over here. When I hear these two guys talk, I'm like, wow. This really is like, they're like 2 peas in a pod, to be honest. I got it right here. I make a joke, right? About how Zani has the most complicated kit in gacha gaming because it's really long. I make that joke. You've played like 3 gacha games. So this is what I told him. I think that kind of pissed him off. Both Ryuku and him both actively like brag about like how many gacha games they play and kind of like use the fact that they've played a lot as like meaning that their opinion on stuff naturally means more. Bob and Jetta be doing that too. It's a badge of honor. I feel like it's a kind of like a weird badge of honor for like people that play a lot of gacha games to be like, ooh, I played more of them and so my opinion means more. It's like, yeah, okay, you played a lot of shitty games. I guess that means that your desire sensors or your capacity to judge things has been tainted by a bunch of garbage. This is like saying, yeah, I've eaten a bunch of shitty cooking. I've eaten a bunch of bad food, and so I know what the best food is. Yeah, I've been to every 1-star restaurant in the world, and so I should know what a real 5-star meal looks like. It's basically the same thing, if we're frankly being honest. It's kind of the same thing. Yeah, a little bit of elitism. Yeah, a little bit of elitism. I've watched 900 shitty anime, and so I know what a good one is. Same sort of vibe here. Yeah, it's a weird flex. It's a weird flex for sure.
Content creators alike who will gladly disagree. And by the way, since I get the feeling this might happen, please do not harass Honkai Chaser for that. I'm only bringing him and his content up as an example for my video, so leave him the f*** alone. It's pathetic enough what a lot of the Wuwa community's turned into, and the fact that pieces of shit like these 3 exist.
All right, only 6 minutes in, we got the call out, boys. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it. There we go. Is there going to be another one?
This doesn't exactly help. Battle Tower is really challenging, don't get me wrong. And Honkai Chaser was doing like, I don't know, floor 70 I think it was, or something like that when I checked his video, and that's a lot more impressive than my lazy ass stuck down there at only floor 30. But I'll tell you this, when I play Battle Tower, right, it's difficult for sure, and you can't make a single mistake because one hit means like 3/4 of your health is already gone, and a bad hit means that one of your characters is already dead. But I know that as long as I keep trying, as long as I learn how to play better and stop having a skill issue, I will be able to beat it. If I truly want to reach floor 100 or however high it goes up to in Zenless Battle Tower, right, I'm confident that I can get there eventually, though obviously it'll take me quite a bit of grind to do so. But I can't say the same about all the other gachas I've played. Some of them have fights where the entire time I didn't know if I was going to beat them. FGO, for instance, is the gacha that I know the most in terms of its mechanics, like how to play and such, and it's the gacha that I've been playing for the longest, and there have still been some fights.
Guys, that's bragging about how long you've played FGO for its incredible gameplay, and like, we're going ahead, and again, this is like some dude who said he's eaten 5 million peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and so he knows what a gourmet meal looks like. I've eaten 5 million peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, so I'm the best judge of how good a gourmet meal is. No.
Some challenge stages, that is, where not only did they take an hour or two to clear each, but I wasn't confident that I could clear it to begin with. And oftentimes I didn't, and I had to do that all over again. Girls Frontline 1 had hard mode event stages that even when I was following guides on YouTube telling me what to do, I didn't know if I could still beat them, both due to map RNG and my own micro, or the lack thereof. Arknights had a couple of Risk 18 contingency contracts that I struggled with, one of which I just threw my hands up and said, F it, I'm just looking up a guide. And don't even get me started on Blue Archive raids. Nexon can actually go f.
This is diseased. I'm sorry. If you're doing this, seek help. Get help. I need to move my camera. If at any point your PC monitor looks like this, get help. I'm sorry. What in the fuck is this?
Themselves. How do you know that, for example, Wuthering Waves 2.0 patch is the greatest patch in gacha history? Right? It was amazing, don't get me wrong. Rina Sita is a huge improvement over Huanglong. The game got much better visually. Flight is cool, among other things. A lot more things, actually.
Because half of it is clickbait, and the other half is just it being a really, really fucking good patch, and it's likely going to be one of the best patches that your audience has actually ever seen. Yes, as some people say, it is objectively the best, but because best is always subjective. Because, again, Touhou, you clearly think FGO is a good game with a lot of great mechanics, when very few people actually agree with that. So best is naturally subjective. Nothing can objectively be the best. Because guess what? Even if you use a statistic, about 99% of people saying that something is the best, well, those people all subjectively said it's the best.
Among other things, a lot more things, actually. But the greatest patch in gacha history levels of good? Because Snowbreak Containment Zone
Stop it.
had a patch that turned that gacha into a full-on Gunner or Coomer game, whichever terminology you prefer, with characters and skins that look like this these days, when at launch it was a lot more conservative. And I know what you're thinking, you know, oh, Gunner content doesn't mean it's the best patch ever, which...
This is what I meant by best is subjective. This was probably, I mean, you could just look at Touhou's background, right? I mean, be honest here. Do you think that Touhou took Zoom calls with this as his background? Like, he would take Zoom calls for work, and then he wouldn't put up a virtual camera, and he would just have this in the background during his work Zoom calls? That's such a power move.
You're right, on its own it wouldn't be. But that patch for Snowbreak was one of the crucial reasons why that game was able to avoid EOS. Or in other words, Snowbreak going full Gunner quite literally saved the game.
And that's why, again, best is subjective. And so for Touhou, a guy who's got shit like this hanging on his bedroom door, or sorry, his bedroom wall, yeah, the Snowbreak Gunner patch is going to be the best ones ever for him. And so you could read any title of somebody saying that it's the hardest or the best as literally maybe the creator saying that it's the best subjectively for their audience or the best subjectively for them. I mean, I guess this is the thing. We made a whole video about this. I guess now at this point, we're just talking about what the word subjective means.
At least partially. And now the devs are the same ones developing that new PvP mecha game called Mecha Break because Snowbreak did so well after their Gunnar patch. Again, WoW's 2.0 patch was amazing, but when people talk about the best patch ever, more so than its contents, I also think about how much of an impact that patch had on its game overall. WoW 2.0 had a ton of impact, that's undeniable. But even if it weren't that amazing, it wouldn't have, like, killed the game or anything like that.
So for something, by Touhou's definition, for something to be the best, it's got to save the game from EOS, and the game has to be in the state of EOSing first before it can qualify as best. So, subjectively, whatever it is for him, he can subjectively decide what best is. I think most people are going to look at that definition and just be like, what in the fuck are you even saying, bro?
People would still keep playing, myself included. Snowbreak's Gunnar patch, on the other hand, had end of service on the line. And if it did EOS, it would have killed off not just Snowbreak, but also Mecha Break, most likely. And all that was just for one other gacha. I'm sure that there are other gacha games out there that have had just as impactful patches that changed them drastically for the better, if not even more. My point here is that saying, again, for example, Wuthering Waves has the best patch in gacha history doesn't have much weight to it if the person or the people saying that have only ever played WoWa and maybe some Hoyo games and that's it.
Why? How does that make it worse? I guess this is the thing, right? You can't prove that something is the best. You also can't really prove that something is the worst. And so this whole sort of like armchair analysis that just because I played more gacha games and I've consumed more slop and I've played more bullshit and I've had all of these experiences playing garbage, that doesn't mean that suddenly you're now a connoisseur of what's good. I'm pretty sure the homeless guy living in Brooklyn has had a wide variety of different meals from the local dumpster. That doesn't mean that they're suddenly going to be able to judge what gourmet is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have a different meal every day.
Obviously, gacha games are so much more than just the big four, and just because you don't play them doesn't mean that they all of a sudden don't exist. I try not to generalize my statements like that because I understand that gacha games are very nuanced, and there's a lot of things to consider when you talk about them.
Half of the gacha games, literally, they play entirely different. They're just completely different genres. Just completely different genres, and the only thing linking them together inherently is the fact that you have to pull for characters. If you're comparing WoWa to games like HSR, the only thing you can literally compare them by is like the fact that they have like fucking you pull characters and weapons. Almost every other factor of the game is like completely different except maybe like character progression, right? Like leveling up the characters, requiring like resources, and then like maybe like a stamina system. But every other system is like completely different. Yeah, gear is related to progression. But like the general gameplay, all of that stuff, it's like entirely completely off.
So if someone who runs around calling themselves the God of Gacha tries not to do that, what makes you think you can? Some of you may point out that,
Hey guys, the God of Gacha isn't doing it, and so it's not okay if anyone else does, because you need the God of Gacha's permission to do this.
maybe I'm just taking this a little too seriously.
Yes, you are taking the word best. You're taking the words best and worst extremely seriously. And the only people in this conversation taking the categorization of best and worst seriously are the literal elitists of the space. People like Ryuku, Fob, Touhou, and Genozad, who have played a lot of the games, a lot of dog shit gacha games, and I guess have this chip on their shoulder, indicating that they suddenly know more about a subject area. This is like somebody saying, I've read 100 books. That makes me an expert on this one genre, just because I've read 100 books. And it's like, it's not an argument you can make, because the only thing linking gacha games together is literally the fact that they have like a pulling system. It can be entirely fucking different. Like, if you're at the point where you're comparing fucking FGO to Genshin Impact, you've lost the plot. Just because you played FGO doesn't mean you have any capacity at all to judge Genshin Impact. Just because you played PGR doesn't mean you have any capacity at all to judge Hawkeye Star Rail. Like, let's just simmer down. Let's just simmer down on the elitism for like 1 second, guys. It's really not that deep. Your resume doesn't matter in this space. Let's be entirely honest about that. It doesn't matter at all. And to imply that it does, it really seems like we're grasping at straws over here to somehow give value to all the time that we've wasted on dog shit games. Yeah, we regret the sunk cost of all the time we spent playing subpar games, and we desperately want it to mean something. That's what it comes off as. But it doesn't mean anything.
Like, come on, bro. It's just a few clickbait titles, man. Like, it's not that deep. I even said before in my last Delusional Gacha Takes video that I get it, this is just how content creation is nowadays. To that, I'd just like to point out the fact that those pieces of trash that I mentioned earlier got triggered enough by me calling myself the Gacha God that they made their own dog react videos where they did nothing but throw around personal insults because actual counter-arguments are beyond their mental capacities.
You want to know what's beyond your mental capacity, Touhou? Buying a razor. Buying a mustache trimmer, because you desperately need one, bro.
So clearly, I'm not the only one who takes things too seriously. Two wrongs don't make a right, but theirs are worse, so they can go f themselves. Oh, I know, maybe they should go get their Twitch channels banned again. Ha! The second
I don't think he knows the reason why I got banned. It wasn't even related to any of this. Alright, you know what? All gloves are off now, bucko. We're definitely watching Tectone's video. We're definitely watching Tectone's video today then. Oh man, we're definitely watching that one. I heard he gets cooked.
reason, and the far more important one, is because of this. This sort of language encourages people to build a media echo chamber around themselves and their favorite gacha. Obviously, it's not just content creators who say stuff like, oh, Zenless is the hardest gacha game, or Wuwa has the best patch in gacha history. Many regular players who don't stream or make videos share similar or the same opinions even, and haven't really played other gachas outside the big four. But even if the content creators themselves understand that what they're saying is not necessarily true and they're just exaggerating and playing up for the views, most of their viewers certainly won't. Because they don't play other gachas, regular players don't have the knowledge or the experience to say otherwise when some piece of shit like Saint Tontus starts.
That's 3 times. Wait, I feel like bro exclusively dislikes me the most. He 1,000,000% dislikes me the most. That's 3 references. And we're only 12 minutes into the video.
Starts screaming in their faces with the biggest megaphone he can get his hands on about how Wuwa is the best gacha game in the world and Hoyo games should all just burn in hell. Those regular players were also probably already fans of Wuwa to begin with, which also means that they probably weren't big fans of Hoyo games to begin with, and hearing a content creator validate their feelings for the game makes them feel good about themselves.
Oh, so as a content creator, I made content that people want to watch? This guy's a fucking freak! Why is he? How dare he do that? He did not have the God of Gacha's permission. Okay.
And so that's how the media echo chamber is built. And once people are trapped in there, it's really hard for them to break themselves out of it.
I was gonna say something fucked up, but I won't.
And all the while that they're in there, they're constantly subjected to whatever propaganda that's bouncing around inside there. And eventually their thoughts decompose into nothing but Wuwa good, everything else bad, and if anyone even looks at Wuwa funny, then they start swarming around to neutralize the threat like they're a bunch of wasps. And this is not the sort of behavior I want to see. As someone who actually has a vested interest in the development and evolution of gacha games, unlike Baltimore over there, who only plays good gacha games to stroke his own dick whenever St. Tontas and Itoma aren't deep-throating it for him. I mean, hey, judging by this clip here.
The only thing that you put in place is my dick in your mother's mouth.
Hey, I'm just saying, I think Tectone should at least get some practice in first, and he's got these 2 holes ready and waiting, so while those 2 go off and get some more of Techie's nut stuck in their teeth, unlike them, I prefer seeing people actually have discussions on how they want to see their favorite gachas improve, and
Oh, you've been playing FGO for 13 years. I think that you've lost all ability to critically think at this point. Also, Touhou, let's be honest here. Let's be entirely honest here. That's crazy shit to say when I think you're the reason why personal tasers exist. That was the fucked up thing that I was gonna say before, but yeah, I decided to say it now. Hey, Saint from the future over here. So we got that whole little segment, right? Of, you know, like Touhou saying that me and Itoma were the ones deep-throating Tech. Take a look at this. Bro sent DMs over to Tectone, literally begging him for things like a raid, money to like pay his bills and mortgage, do all of that. And so yeah, this is just some additional context. It turns out that when the insults are that specific, when they're that pointed, it's typically projection. And I'm gonna be real, I think Touhou's the only dude getting down on his knees for another CC when you got shit like this, when you got skeletons like this in the closet and DMs like this hanging out on Discord. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Wuthering Waves is no exception if that's the only thing y'all learned from their first anniversary drama recently. No gacha game out there
Yeah, I think that's warranted. After what I just heard in that video, I think that's fair.
Deserves such a level of praise that players and content creators alike treat it and its developers like they're some sort of like God's gift to the planet or something. I mean, besides, I don't remember gifting y'all shit anyway. No gacha game deserves such a level of glaze that people are lynched for daring to criticize it or even suggest that it could be better. This doesn't apply to just Wuwa, obviously, in case I need to clarify that. This applies to every gacha game out there. No gacha game is perfect, not even the ones that I hold in the highest regard. Which includes Wuwa too, in case you didn't watch my gacha tier list video. For normal players, I can sort of forgive them for having or adopting this kind of mentality, that their favorite gacha game is like the best at this or that. Maybe they can't or don't want to play a whole ton of gacha games like I do, which is...
Yeah, they don't want to play dog shit games. That's just how it works. They don't want to play garbage games, and so having this expectation that, yes, you've played a bunch of bullshit that's not fun, and implying that just because you played a bunch of dog shit games means that you suddenly are a judge of what good games are, it's a little cringe. You know what? You know whose opinion I'd rather value? I'd rather value Gordon Ramsay's opinion on what good food is. I'm pretty sure Gordon Ramsay doesn't go stuffing his palate with a bunch of slop, a bunch of actual garbage food, to curate his opinion. Maybe he does it occasionally, once in a while, but I don't think he's regularly doing that. And you're playing 13 fucking games at once. You're still playing FGO in 2025. Let's be entirely honest here.
It's fine, by the way. Nothing wrong with playing just one or two gachas on its own. So they have to be a lot more careful with which ones that they do play. So of course they'll care about...
I mean, Touhou, let's be honest here. You don't have a job. You don't stream every day. You have plenty of time to play gacha games, and probably the rest of these people that you're explicitly calling out for being the unwashed, uneducated masses that don't play 13 games like you, they have jobs, they have hobbies, they have significant others, and so they don't have time to dedicate to 13 fucking gacha games a day like you. I don't know how many gacha games I play like 2. I play 2, and sometimes I skip the dailies on one of them. Because I literally have other shit to do with my fucking life.
The ones that they actually
and clearly, by what's in the background, I don't think you can say the same.
Play the most. But for fellow content creators, I can't cut them the same kind of slack. Your viewers see you as mentors, role models even. Whether you care about it or not, you have the power to influence their decisions and their thoughts. So if you decide to propagate a one-sided narrative, no matter how seemingly small, like, oh, I don't know, like Hoyo or Kuro has the best gacha story or whatever, your...
Wait, let's play that again.
Thoughts. So if you decide to propagate a one-sided narrative, no matter how seemingly small, like, oh, I don't know, like creators, I can't cut them the same kind of slack. Your viewers see you as mentors.
I guess the only thing that I would be a mentor for is dismantling stupid-ass arguments. Because that's kind of like the main thing that I would hope people get educated from. Otherwise, yeah, no, I'm hosting like guide content and shit. But opinion pieces? Yeah, I don't know what you're necessarily learning from those. I don't really know about that one. But yeah, this is just, I mean, couldn't he say the same for himself as well? What is he teaching his audience? How to be a loser?
Role models, even. Whether you care about it or not, you have the power to influence their decisions and their thoughts. So if
Maybe Touhou's teaching his audience what not to do with their life. Like, he's just like, everything you see right here, do the exact opposite.
If you decide to propagate a one-sided narrative, no matter how seemingly small, like, oh, I don't know, like Hoyo or Kuro has the best gacha story or whatever, your viewers will buy into that if that's how you've cultivated your audience. Even if you say, well, I don't actually believe that myself, I'm just doing this because that's what my viewers want, or, oh, what was the popular gacha on the streets right now, so I want to capitalize on that to build up my own channel. I mean, that's kind of like saying you don't like doing fentanyl yourself, but you ain't got a problem being a fentanyl dealer and like pulling up to parties to, sell some to people.
Fentanyl is a drug that kills like thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people every year. We're talking about gacha games. And most of the time, if somebody's going to be making content, I hope they're not making content on stuff that they blatantly don't agree with. I'm all for extreme analogies, but like, we are talking about a drug that, like, people OD on and, like, die from literally every day. And, like, this is gacha game opinions about, like, which game is better than the other. Maybe he went to drugs because he's hopelessly addicted to gacha games. I guess this is the thing, right? Fentanyl ruins your life. Gacha games ruined his life. So maybe that's why he's equating the two like this. I see now.
And now they rely on you for more. I'm sure that's a great way to build a following. I wouldn't know because I find that pretty repulsive myself. But what I do know is that this is horrible for the overall gacha space, which is sort of what I care about, Gachas as a whole. But I do...
Because gacha is your life. I guess gacha is the only thing that's left, frankly.
do want to recognize that not every Hoyo or Wuwa player out there is like this. There are still people out there who stay in their lane, so to speak. Instead of saying, oh, Zenless is the hardest gacha game, or Wuwa's 2.0 patch is the best patch in gacha history, right? It's more accurate to say something like Zenless is the hardest Hoyo gacha, or Wuwa's 2.0 patch is the best patch in Wuwa history.
Guys, we're getting this caught up over titles of videos. You can really only care and have a strong opinion about something like this if you don't have actual responsibilities, or there's something going on in your head. You literally cannot care about this at all to a high degree unless you have nothing else to worry about in your fucking life. And with Touhou actively not having a job for the past however long, whatever, and still S6 in characters like this, yeah, I can see why he cares so much about what fucking videos are titled. Jesus Christ, man. I see why Tectone dropped a bomb on this dude. Yeah, I low-key, I'm ready to drop a bomb on him as well.
Like this tweet right here. I don't mind something like this because it's kept within the realm of the game that they're talking about, and it doesn't overstep its boundaries. They're not trying to...
Yeah, I see why Tectone blew this guy up. I see why. Yeah, no, I'm gonna be honest, I'd be like fucking exhausted and pissed after this one too. This is such a ridiculous video.
Sensationalize what's going on, or at least not to the same extent that other people do. My hope is that people either refrain from having such sensationalist attitudes towards their favorite gacha games, or at the very least, if they still want to be, they expand their horizons a bit and play other gachas first. Like I said, a whole ton of other gacha games out there outside the big four. You should try some of them. Like, I understand that gacha games are a huge commitment. I would know, I play 13 of them. And that combined with most people's tendency to play what's popular creates a situation where a lot of gacha players out there are...
Bro takes these games way too fucking serious, bro. People are over here acting like I'm like fucking Wuwa's like a #1 defender. Like Wuwa's like my personality. Wuwa's my life. No, man. You want to know what it is? The game is inherently my job. For this guy, gachas are his life. This is the person that is basing his entire personality around gacha games. There's a big difference here. Wuthering Waves and content around it and content around gacha, it's a job for sure. It just happens to be a job that I greatly enjoy doing. This dude's making no money off of this. You guys want to know how much a 22-minute, 13K view video is going to make? Like 30 bucks. This is like 30, 40 bucks on YouTube. I hope you guys understand that. This is not a bag. 13K view, 22-minute video, 20 to 40 bucks max. This is not the bag you think it is. Believe me, I would know.
Either scared or simply uninterested in trying out anything else. Hell, technically, you don't even have to, like, actually physically play those other gachas.
And this is the thing, right? This is the best video he's had in a long fucking time. You wanna know how much this is making? Nothing. Slight bag. Okay, this one might be okay because it's a 6-hour video, though I don't know how many ads he managed to play during that. This is like 10 bucks. This is like 15 at most. This is, yeah, this is probably another like 20, 30. Yeah, probably this entire page that you're seeing over here of the past month of uploads, that's about 100 bucks. Guys, imagine in the United States, $100 for a month of work. That probably violates the Geneva Convention.
You can just, like, I don't know, watch videos on them, or ask people who already play them, what their game is like. Though preferably you should still try to play them yourself so that you can form your own opinion. But if you're gonna say something like, oh, WoW is the best gacha game ever, and I look at your YouTube channel or your stream VODs, and the only gacha I see you play or make content on is Wuthering Waves, or the only content you have on your channel is React Andy Slop, then, like, I'm sorry, but your words don't mean shit.
Why? Why not? Who made you judge, jury, executioner? Hey, why don't we let the audience decide? Hey, Touhou, why don't we let the audience decide who's right? Let's see over here. Let's let the audience decide who's right. I think that I have eclipsed your entire 4 quarters, entire 6 months with one video. Yeah, maybe you're not right either. Yeah, maybe just look over here. Kachota's Kit, 57K. When was the last? Yeah. I don't know, man. I think 1 week on my channel is about 2 years of yours. Let's be real here, buddy. I don't think you get to be the judge on who's right or wrong.
That's kind of like your average American saying that, oh, America's the best country in the world, USA, USA, and they've never been outside the US in their entire life.
I mean, in a lot of ways, America actually, in a lot of ways, it actually is the best. So it's not like they're straight up wrong.
And I ain't out here trying to tell y'all to go pick up a dozen different gacha games and shove them down your own throat like Techie shoves his dick down
Guys, I said in a lot of ways. Did nobody hear me say in a lot of ways? Name them. Guys, why do you think every country knows English? Why do you think every country learns English? Are people actually saying it's because of England? Guys, people aren't learning English nowadays because of England.
Don't you mean a bottle of water?
Like, they're not learning it because of the UK, guys. Oh, God.
And they've never been outside the US in their entire life. And I ain't out here trying to tell y'all to go pick up a dozen different gacha games and shove them down your own throat like Techie shoves his dick down Thomas and St. Tontus's. Like I said, even one gacha is a huge commitment for most people. So however many extra you want to pick up is up to you.
How's bro finding so much time for 13? Oh, right. You know how there's like that stack chart of all the responsibilities people have in the day? There's like sleep, work, leisure time and hobbies, eating food. Yeah, Touhou just took out the work part and just added more leisure time. That's how he has all the time.
To you, however many you're comfortable with. You don't even have to play them every day. As long as you make an earnest effort to learn how other gacha games work, you can then compare how your favorite gacha, Genshin, Star Rail, Zenless, WoW, whichever, to these other gachas that aren't as popular. It will expose your favorite gacha's weaknesses, but it will also give you a bigger appreciation for what they do right. And even if you take my advice and try other gacha games and you're still kind of like, nah, like I still prefer WoW, for example, that's fine too. At least you gave those other gachas a shot. Just don't act like a f***ing prick just because you find somebody on the internet who doesn't have the best things to say about WoW.
How about you stop being a prick over video titles? Because we just made an entire 22-minute video. We started attacking a bunch of people because we didn't like video titles. This is peak unemployed behavior.
And I want to add that while everything I've talked about in this video so far applies the easiest to the big four gachas, they certainly aren't the only ones. There are other gacha games out there that have their own fanatical player bases, players who glaze their games and tweak the f*** out whenever somebody has anything bad to say about them. The gacha that comes to mind for me that most fits this bill outside the big four is Limbus Company. I mean, just look at the comment section for their last live stream and I feel like I'm in a cult commune somewhere with how every third or fourth comment there says the words "Glory to Project Moon." But FGO to a lesser extent also applies if what I know about some of its content creators and player base, specifically on the JP side, is any indication. I'd like to leave you all with
I think it's because Limbus Company automatically filters a lot of people. Yeah, that's my take. I think Limbus Company automatically filters a lot of people because, I mean, you have to be a certain type of gamer to even want to play the game in the first place. Let's be entirely honest here.
one last thing. Being enthusiastic about your favorite gacha game is fine and all. Like, hell, going overboard every once in a while just for the memes is fine too. Not saying that you can't have fun with it or anything. But a lot of what I see out there isn't just being enthusiastic, it's a straight up hive mind. Like I said, a swarm of wasps that's building their nest bigger and bigger. And
I think it's because Touhou's not at the center of this hive mind. He has a big problem with it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this video doesn't get made if his channel doesn't look like fucking wasteland.
whenever anyone even looks at them funny, they all start swarming out to attack them. To many of you YouTubers and streamers, saying stuff like, oh, Zenless or Wuwa is like the hardest gacha game ever is not that big of a deal. But to me, it is, for the reasons stated above. I know that I can't force people to change their behavior. I'm no Saint Tontus who likes to throw his fanboys at someone else's video.
I mean, this video was, let's be honest here. I think every person that watched this thought this video sucked fucking ass. I'm just gonna be real with you. This video was not good. And you can compare this video to the one that Sorosness made, and it's literally night and day. You compare this video to the one that Sorosness made. Absurdly different. Absurdly fucking different. It's on the same exact subject matter, Wuwa 2.2, but one actually had like details and points. The other one just feels like he skipped the entire fucking story.
And has them dislike bomb the f out of it.
No, I didn't cause people to dislike bomb it. The dislikes on the video were warranted because it was not a good video.
Just because it dared to criticize Wuwa's story.
No, because the critique sucked ass and didn't make much sense.
But what I can do is tell the rest of you guys, either on the sidelines or those willing to listen, what to look out for. And that'll do it for this video. All my socials are down in the description below. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel for more, and check out the Patreon if you really enjoy the content.
He desperately needs that, guys.
Catch my streams either right here on YouTube or over on Twitch. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Oh boy. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna be real here, guys. Bro took at least like 7 or 8 shots at me with this one, didn't he? Did somebody keep a counter at how many times my name was brought up here? Mentioned me literally more, like, I'm pretty sure I was the most, right? Like, I don't even get it. I think I made like 2 reacts to him. 5 or 6? It felt like 6 or 7. Yeah, well, yeah, I guess this will be a 2-part series. Be on the lookout for our react to Techie's video, where he absolutely dismantles this guy's soul. And I'm a little bit excited for that one. Yeah, a little bit excited for that one. All right, let me know what you all think. Peace.